hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow. I've been caught in the undertow. For toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized.
Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Pulls a coin that I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Now that I need you, why?
Just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat down, I scratch the lens just to tell you. Don't lead the way, don't even say that I drown with a traveling in the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Marvel Talk. We are back once again for an MCU Rebound. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, and I'm joined by my Marvel Talk tag team partner, Andre C., or at least 2/3 of him tonight.
God, I'm never gonna live that down.
No, not really.
And forever, Astrid will I will piss her off by calling her the queen forever. She did that to me.
Astrid is getting very angry with me for going over all of her accolades. The queen of our local establishment, the natural, Hollywood Astrid, all of them. She says that it's too many.
The CEO. She's just moving up in the business. She's the businesswoman. She's
the booker extraordinaire. At least for taking over.
She's the top businesswoman. She's doing everything.
But we're here not to talk about Astrid, although we could probably talk about Astrid for an hour. We really could.
We should do a show just about Astrid one day, without her on it.
Do a show where we just talk about Astrid the whole time.
Just like you, me, Bobby. We can get Mel in here. We can
just talk about Astrid for an hour. She loves that. She would be so happy to hear us talk about her.
I think we need to have the Astrid hour.
But no, we're here instead to talk about Marvel's Civil War. And we should be clear, we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe Civil War and not the far greater Marvel Civil War comic series. Which, by the way, I have read cover to cover more than once.
And not Civil War 2.
No, we're not talking about Marvel Civil War 2.
It's not that bad. It's It's not that Civil War 2 is bad. It just doesn't live up to the Civil War name.
Yeah. So to put in perspective what happened in the original comic, because I think that this is our first time doing an MCU review where we have a name literally pulled from the comics. Like we're in the Infinity Saga, we're doing the whole Infinity Stones thing, but like this is a high profile story literally pulled from the pages to
Technically Age of Ultron. But
they took it. They took the name Age of Ultron and vastly dissociated.
Astrid's
Speaking
here.
of her,
The women we're going to be doing a whole show about very soon. Before the end of the year, we're going to do a whole show about you, Astrid. Just
I'll tell you in Discord later what we were talking
people.
about. Just go back to the beginning of the show. It's great.
We're just going to talk about you for an hour. It's going to be great.
We are doing well, Bobby. We've both had an interesting afternoon. I forgot I was doing this podcast till about 2 minutes and 10 when Andre was like, "Hey, we still good for the show tonight?" And I'm like, "Yes, just let me make a thumbnail because I haven't done that all day because I forgot." But I watched the movie 2 or 3 times. I'm in a good spot.
Oh, so I've seen this movie like,
yeah.
God, I don't know how many times I've watched this movie. I only watched it once just recently for the rewatch.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, you're interested in us doing a whole show about you.
No,
you're not
on it. Really
it's just going to be us talking about you.
You're not going to be on the show. We're just going to be discussing you for an entire hour.
Anyway, the Astrid Hour.
The Superhero Registration Act. We've seen this in X-Men with the Mutant Registration Act. We've seen it in various forms of television. In small ways here and there. We've seen forms of the Superhuman Registration Act. But basically, this makes it so that a lot of people in the government wanted to make sure that heroes were... It doesn't make it any better.
Yeah.
So in a large part, this portion is very similar to the movie. The Sokovia Accords and the Superhero Registration Act are largely kind of sort of the same thing. At a highest level, they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah, registered heroes, which is funny because Spider-Man is on Iron Man's team, yet I don't think he signed the Accords.
No, he never signs the Accords.
Oh, which I find funny. Technically, did Widow sign the Accord?
Yes.
Did she? Okay. Oh yeah, that's why she gets thrown him. Yeah,
she's asked by Steve Rogers in the movie. She's asked by Steve Rogers who signed, and she goes Iron Man, Rhodey, Vision, and I'm assuming she's included in that because she's the one saying who signed the Accords to Cap at the funeral.
Makes sense.
Again, this kind of just goes back and forth, but it encompasses so many great heroes that we've never seen in the MCU. Stature, we've seen Stature to an extent. Nighthawk. It includes the New Warriors, Night Thrasher, Speedball, Microbe. Like, there are some
Squirrel Girl? Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl not technically included in the New Warriors at this point for the Civil War comic. But she is a New Warrior. You are correct.
Because one of them causes an explosion, which kills people, which brings about
Nitro explodes.
Registration. Yeah.
Nitro. A villain group of Nitro explodes in Stamford, Connecticut, while filming a reality television show, and kills more than 600 people, including school children.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
And if you're interested in reading it, Marvel Unlimited is on your phone. It's really cheap.
We should really get sponsored by them at some point. I need to make a note of that.
This is the second time I've talked about it.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting people in this comic. It includes Hank Pym, Reed Richards, Hercules, Falcon, Danny Rand, Daredevil,
the best defender.
I mean, in the comics, he's actually really, really good. In
No, I'm talking about the TV shows.
No, the Netflix show was awful. It'd be nice, but we don't talk enough comics, I think, for Marvel Unlimited to really sponsor us. This is a rarity that we do this because, like I said, this is one of my favorite books. And by books, I mean I didn't buy the individual issues. I went back later and got the leather bound version of this book.
Keep talking. I'm just.
No
I
worries.
want to go see if I have something. Keep talking.
Yeah. No worries. So yeah, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man. Spider-Man actually unmasks in this, and he switches sides from one side to the other. There's a lot of really fun stuff in here. Miss Marvel's included in this, and it was a really good comic for the mid 2000s, from 2006 to 2007. There are, I believe, 7 issues of this comic, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I cannot suggest this any more than I ever have before. It's one of the few comics that I think was done well and done right, and it's unfortunately one of the reasons why this film isn't as high. There we go.
Yeah. So the best part of Civil War is I have Civil War Spider-Man. It's a collected issue of Spider-Man from that year. His story is so good in there.
Spider-Man Unmasking is one of the best stories in all of comics.
Which leads to the storyline that they based No Way Home using to use for No Way Home in him.
The One More Day story.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so many things that come out of Civil War, like you say. It leads to Spider-Man One More Day, where Spider-Man goes ahead and gives Mephisto a portion of his soul to let everybody forget who he is. Like it's that's another one I'd love to cover. Like when I get a chance to reread it.
Yeah. Oh God, I gotta reread that now.
Yeah, but we're here talking about the Russos, which is important to note that we're talking about the Russos because they're coming back for Doomsday, so we're very excited for that. But this is really Avengers 2.5. Let's really be honest. This is not a Captain America movie. This is Avengers 2.5.
Yeah. Bobby in the chat. Yeah, don't worry. We'll chat with you about the Astrid Hour.
No worries, Bobby.
We'll fill you in on the Astrid Hour.
Bobby, it's much less important that you forgot about this show, and much more important that I forgot about this show.
5 minutes before we were planning to go live. I messaged him. Hey, are we still going?
So
I love Bobby stats. Hey, other Bobby.
It's other Bobby, or as we call him, the Ogre Lord.
Yep.
He's no longer the Overlord. He is now the Ogre Lord.
Hey, this movie hurt me and it made it better.
This movie, Astrid, you every time you keep talking about the Astrid Hour, it just keeps making her more and more scared. I promise, it's not as bad as it sounds.
It's gonna be all praise and glory for you. Don't worry.
So in this movie, we have Chris Evans reprising his role as Steve Rogers, Robert Downey Jr. reprising his role as Iron Man, Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Anthony Mackie is back as Sam Wilson, the Falcon, Don Cheadle is back as James Rhodes, Jeremy Renner is back as Hawkeye. We have the first introduction of our late and departed friend Chadwick Boseman. The Black Panther, T'Challa, is in this movie. And to be honest with you, one of my favorite parts of this movie is the T'Challa arc in this.
Oh, dude, I think T'Challa arc and the little bits from Spider-Man that you get in this movie, to me, are the best parts of this movie. And again, not that the rest is bad. This is a very well-made movie. It's just the introduction of Black Panther, a character that is so important to the Marvel Universe, is finally here. Then you get the biggest character in, I truly believe, the Marvel mascot in Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I think though they're, especially the Tony and Peter scenes, and then just the way he comes into it all and like into the fight and everything. and all of it, T'Challa's stuff in this, even the stuff with his dad, it's insanely emotional. Like, just I love it.
You know the reason why Stan Lee always says that he hated unmasking Peter Parker in Spider-Man, right?
Because Peter Parker he created him, and he's told him as a story of it is a younger man, but it's that anybody can see themselves as Spider-Man, where not everybody can see themselves as a Captain America, a Tony Stark, or the characters. Yeah.
I love the fact that Stan Lee, all those years later, is like, look, the reason why Spider-Man was one of the few heroes who was almost constantly masked as his character was because of the fact that I wanted everybody to believe, no matter what color, no matter how old, no matter what shape you're in, any of you could be Spider-Man. And I'm like, that's really cool. Paul Bettany is
flip,
back.
Baby. Flip.
Flip, indeed. As Deadpool would say on Disney Plus. Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, Emily Van Camp, all coming back, reprising their roles and being very good in the jobs they did. The pair, as we just talked about, Spider-Man, Marissa Tomei debuting as May Parker and Tom Holland debuting as Spider-Man.
There's no way this guy could be that. She does not look like she could be somebody's aunt.
I do love how they make him the aunt in this, like May Parker is now the aunt as opposed to being the grandmother, but we've always seen in every Spider-Man movie.
Well, she is always Aunt May, but yeah, she's old and old. Like, this is Wait, I can't remember. I can't remember what universe version this is, but yeah.
Yeah, but I was going to say Marissa Tomei kills it as Aunt May, but it's for the first time we're getting a younger Aunt May who's, able to play off Tony Stark in a way that could not have been done if Aunt May was the typical Aunt May that we're used to seeing in, say, the Sam Raimi universe.
Well, in real life, her and RDJ are the same age. So
yeah. We then have Tom Holland, who I know this is going to be a hot take. Tom Holland is the second best Spider-Man that we've seen in movie form. In movie form, he's the second best Spider-Man.
Who Toby for you?
No, Andrew. I think Andrew's Spider-Man is better than any other Spider-Man. His movies have been terrible, but I think Andrew is the epitome of what I want Spider-Man to be.
Yeah, not Peter Parker.
No, he is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire, I think, is the best version of the two of them mixed. And then Andrew is the best Spider-Man.
I would say I put Toby. I say Toby's your best Peter Parker, but his Spider-Man is pretty weak to me. And then reverse that for Garfield, and then Holland just kind of gets them both right. I think his Peter Parker is on because his Peter Parker is also portrayed younger than Toby's because Toby's started in high school but went really quick into college. Versus, I like the story. That's why I put their Peter Parkers on the same level. Yeah. The reason
why I like this, and again, for me, it's probably nostalgia more than it is anything else. I grew up with Tobey as Spider-Man. More importantly, I think that they told a much more intensive Peter Parker story in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. And that's why I say he's the best Peter Parker. Because you see
two out of the three were good. 2 out of the 3 were good.
I don't hate the Peter Parker in the third Spider-Man.
I do.
I don't hate dancing, sexy Toby. I think that was a real. I think with the symbiote, I think it works really well. And again, we're getting off topic.
It does not.
Frank Grillo is back as Brock Rumlow. We get a debut.
The punching thing, dude. That's so good. So good.
Martin Freeman as Everett K. Ross. William Hurt re-debuting as Thaddeus Ross. He's returning as Thaddeus Ross.
Technically, it's his first MCU movie. or like actual Marvel movie because he's only been in
Yeah.
a Universal movie
He
before.
was in the Universal Captain. I'm sorry, Hulk
Captain
movie.
Hulk.
Captain Hulk. And now we get to my favorite character in this movie, and I think the best storyline in this movie. Daniel Bruhl as Helmut Zemo.
Oh,
I love Zemo's story in this movie.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate his story, but man, oh no, I disagree.
I think they told his motivations poorly, but I think when you look at the end and you go back to the beginning, I think you can draw the lines that make all of this make sense.
Oh, it all makes sense, and I don't dislike the story. I just don't think it was that great. Again, I get it. I don't dislike the story. This is one of this. Like I put Civil War pretty high on my list. When on my list, it's very high.
It's going to be for me as well.
But it's just I don't think like they didn't marvelize him as a bad guy. I think he's one of the better written bad guys in this. I just think the story for him was a little weak. And yeah, they didn't write his motivations properly and stuff. And it's not really Baron Zemo yet.
This is Helmut Zemo. This is not Baron Zemo. We'll get Baron Zemo when we get to Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because
I just finished watching that series, rewatching that series. He's so good in that series.
We go back to the beginning of this movie. Lots of good things in this. We see the Lagos incident where Scarlet Witch is trying to get rid of the bomb, and she accidentally throws it into the building and it explodes, and it kills some Wakandans who happen to be doing some political outreach work in Lagos.
Which when I first watched the movie, I'm like, really? But then I thought, like, as in most of my rewatches, I'm like, that actually makes sense.
Yep.
It's that like Lagos is a place where they would go and do things. Like they won't go to like random other like, but Lagos makes total sense. That's in Africa, right?
I believe it's it's crap, you're getting the American with geography. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, you guys don't know anything outside of your borders. You aren't even sure where Canada is. So.
Nigeria, yes. So it is Africa.
Yeah. So again, being that they are an African nation and they are talking in this movie about them wanting to outreach more and become more part of the world, it makes sense that they're making these goodwill missions to these war torn in the more impoverished countries, and it makes sense.
I'm just trying to see if I can get an answer to how far Lagos would theoretically be from Wakanda. Not getting an answer. Never mind. I'll stop.
Where is technically Wakanda on the map?
That's a really good question. I don't believe Marvel's ever officially answered. Hey, he's here before the end of the show. Andreas, thank you for joining us.
Oh my God, he got here wow. He got here only a half an hour in. This is just
yes, wow. But we've just started actually talking about the movie, so that's actually not bad. But yeah, no. The Lagos incident happens. It's hidden somewhere in Africa. It is.
So there is something out there. So it's surrounded by Nigeria, and Chad.
Okay, so it's not far away. It would necessarily be a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, it's kind of in the center of the three of those.
Also, by the way, Andre, this is a message for you. Adam killed it.
Oh yes, Adam had his. Oh shit. Yeah, I forgot we were gonna do something. Then I didn't have it in me to go.
I remember this was originally going to be a recorded show, but then you told me you were going to be able to do it live, so we do it live.
Yeah, life is busy. Yeah.
So we go ahead and we move forward. There's a great scene where we see Tony using barf to go ahead and go back to say goodbye to his father before he dies.
I just rewatched freaking the second Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, barf. And then rewatching this, I'm like, barf.
Yeah, barf. Oh god, what is it? I had this written down somewhere and I've now lost it. Bio progressive, I forget.
Yeah.
It's augmented reality, like generation. I love it though. I wish this existed in reality because I think this would be really helpful for people if it technically existed.
Mm-hmm.
Over the mountain and through the woods to Wakanda's house we go.
I appreciate the other comment though a little more. Donnie Darko over here pissed about barf.
I'll be honest, I've never seen Donnie Darko, the movie.
You don't need to watch it.
Okay,
You
good.
really don't.
Not missing anything.
Unless you love really abstract, fucked up shit. No.
So
That movie that starts at the end, that goes back to the beginning, then goes to the center, then goes to the end, then it goes to the beginning, then goes to the end, then goes past the end, then back to the end. It's dumb.
So Tony Stark is back at his alma mater, MIT, and he goes ahead and starts up a foundation to go ahead and let all these young students achieve all their dreams by fully financing all of their projects.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that a billionaire would have done that for me when I was in college.
Then you'd be a billionaire right now.
No, I probably wouldn't have been, but I probably would have come up with the same stupid idea like the hot dog that heats itself with like little things in the end of the hot dog that you can just touch the hot dog and it starts heating itself.
To your point, Andreas, freaks and geeks. Well, let's continue.
Let's see. So Thaddeus Ross ends up showing up at the Avengers compound up in upstate New York. And we get the story of all the things the Avengers have done in various forms throughout the movies.
The greatest meme of all time came from this.
Which is?
Well, it shows you show a video of you doing something dumb that it shows all they use each character as your mom, your friend, your and like it's something that when it shows everybody when it shows like Cheetah looking back and everything, those pictures are used in memes now, just like people judging you. It's so good.
Captain America at some point tells him just to stop and to give him the give him the Cliff Notes version, and Secretary Ross says that over 100 nations have come together to ratify the Sokovia Accords. And that now the Avengers are going to have to either work for the United Nations or retire. And if they don't retire and they don't work for the United Nations, they're considered criminals and they're going to be hunted as such.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace indeed, William Hurt. Such a great
Harrison Ford for the win.
I'm okay with that. Like, if we have to recast Thaddeus Ross, I'm okay with Harrison Ford.
Me too.
Would I prefer William Hurt? Yes. I would much prefer William Hurt. I adore the William Hurt Thaddeus Ross. I just wanted to see the red mustached, angry Thaddeus Ross as Red Hulk. I did so bad want to see that. I will settle for Harrison Ford. We see the battle lines drawn. Captain America says that if we're not in charge of our own things, what are we going to do? And Widow's like, well, at least if we do this, we at least have one hand on the wheel to be able to control what happens. And Tony's already made up his mind. Tony knows that what he's doing. He knows that he's agreeing to the Accords. But I do love Captain America's line here where he says, what if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't send us? More importantly, what if there's somewhere that they send us that we don't need to go? And he talks about how the United Nations isn't the World Security Council, but it's run by men, and it's run by he uses the word men and he uses the word like people to basically say that people have agendas. And it's not always what's in the best nature of everybody else. It's what's in the best nature of the group that they're serving.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's at the forefront of most of this movie is this fictional idea of the Sokovia Accords. And I say fictional idea because that's not really what's at the heart of this movie at the end of the movie. The Sokovia Accords were a way to push the movie through the first and second act to get to the third act.
Mm-hmm.
Which works because it gives us our splash page. It gives us our two teams, Captain America, Rhodey, Vision, and Black Widow, going up against Bucky, Steve, Wanda, Clint, and Falcon.
Hey,
We'll
you said
get to
Captain
Black
America.
Panther because
You
he's
said
not...
Captain America, not Iron Man.
Oh, did I say Captain America for Team Iron Man? Whoopsies.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I was always Team Iron Man in this result, by the way, just so we're clear. Steve's in the wrong. As much as I respect his opinion and his views, he's wrong.
I'm Team Thor. Those are the greatest shorts ever.
We'll talk about the Team Thor shots at the end if we have time.
Oh, so good.
We then get to the ratification of the... Well, sorry. Before we get to the ratification of the Sokovia Accords, Cap gets a text. She's gone in her sleep. Peggy Carter is no longer with us. She's passed away. I love the funeral scene that they have here, and I know we're gonna skip to the funeral scene, and then we'll go back to talking about the Accords in a minute.
We got the Accords. We're good.
Drax was there the entire time. You just couldn't see him because he was standing so still.
Mm.
I mean, Harrison Ford doesn't look like Harrison Ford used to, but I don't necessarily know if he's at death's door just yet.
No, maybe
he looks pretty good in this movie. Like, I've seen the footage; he looks all right.
He just looks like he just looks old.
He looked a lot better than Nunzio did last Tuesday on NXT from the Philly show. Nunzio's not aged well.
Better than you.
Well, yes, but I'm not a professional wrestler. And neither is he, but that's beside the point. Anyways, at the funeral for Peggy Carter, Sharon gets up, and you just look, and he's like, well, I'll be damned. The aunt she was always talking to was Aunt Peggy.
The flirty neighbor.
Yeah. Did you catch in the funeral scene the last pallbearer is old Steve Rogers from the future? I've looked every time, and I always forget to make sure I double check.
It's probably not even real. Andreas is probably lying to us.
It could be. I wouldn't be surprised because they didn't know then what they were going to do with Endgame. So I don't know if it's there or not, but I'd love for them to have done it the whole time and just left it there.
It's just a random old dude that people place Rogers into. It's not even Rogers. Just a random old guy.
Yeah. And we hear the story about Peggy, and it's fantastic and it's delightful. And then we get the signing of the Sokovia Accords, and we get the first scene with T'Challa, where he's talking to Scarlett Johansson. And instantly, for me at least, it felt right and it felt like it fit. I just heard Chadwick Boseman talking, and I'm like, this is what I imagine the Black Panther.
Oh, did you hear the report about Black Panther Trace?
Yes. I sent the report to a couple people that apparently Denzel Washington, in his last hurrah for his acting career, is going to be put in a prominent role in Black Panther 3.
He's the next Black Panther. No, I'm joking.
Was it this or the Black Panther movie? We don't know when exactly he came down with the cancer. This is 2016. It was filming in 2015.
This is 2015.
Yeah.
Or is it 20 or whatever year this is? 2016. Yeah,
It's 15 and 16. They're filming in 15. It comes out in 16.
Hmm.
I don't remember when. I think it's Black Panther that he gets sick, because I believe it's Black Panther where they say he was taking some small breaks and just didn't let on to anybody. But again, I can't for the life of me guarantee any of that. I'm sure it's on the commentary for Black Panther 2, where they would talk about it. Please don't let Denzel's last movie. No, he has a long list of movies he plans to do in the next few years to finish out his career. Is it in that post that I gave you? Movies and shows thing?
I don't know.
I'm looking right now. No, it's not. But no, he gave a list of at least 6 or 7. He's going to be Othello. I think he's going to be in some version of Othello at some point too. Like, he wants to do some interesting things for Denzel before the end of his career. But we get T'Challa and T'Chaka here. We get a funny scene where T'Challa says that 2 people in a room can get more done than 100, and then T'Chaka comes in with his nice, lovely smile, and he's like, "Unless you need to move a piano." And I'm just like, it was so nice. I like this guy. He was great. Who did play T'Chaka in this? I don't even remember. T'Chaka is John Connie. John Connie is fantastic in this, and I'm looking forward to his role in Mufasa coming up. Oh no, he's in The Lion King. I'm sorry, he was Rafiki in The Lion King. He'll probably be in the Mufasa movie. You're right over there, Andre? You're looking up a whole lot of stuff.
I got nothing for this.
You got nothing for this stuff?
Nope.
All right. We can kind of bounce around at this point. The explosion happens, and it appears that it's Bucky Barnes. Pat finds out about it. Him and Sharon go with Falcon. They go to figure out what's going on. They find out it's Bucky. They're trying to find Bucky. Everybody's trying to find Bucky. Where in the world was Bucky Barnes?
Where in the world is Bucky San Diego?
Bucky San Diego was indeed in Germany, which is nowhere near where the Accords were being signed. Which should have been the first sign for everybody that he probably didn't do it, because they find him within a few hours.
Yep.
The rise of AI blaming Bucky. Indeed.
No, Bro had a face. ZMO had a face mask.
He did. It was a good face mask. It fooled a lot of people. Good, and some of the smartest people in the world.
Too bad he didn't have one of those Black Widow masks from the last Captain movie.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he had that, but he's a villain, so he probably wouldn't be able to get his hand on that kind of technology.
He's rich.
He was a baron, as he tells us in Falcon and Winter Soldier. "Sam, I'm a baron." When he gets on his private plane. Anyways, this starts the chase scene, which is one of the better fight scenes in this thing.
So good.
Through Germany, where you have Bucky trying to get away. You've got Cap chasing after Bucky because Panther's chasing after them. It's just
the running scene is fun, where they're just running down the street. They're all just running faster than the vehicles. It's so good.
Oh, there's so much. There is so many great things in this movie. But I think at the end of the day, like, while all this is great and it's fun, and there are some great scenes where you have Black Widow trying to talk to T'Challa, and Okoye is there, and she's trying to stop it, and T'Challa just looks at them both and goes, "As much as I'd like to see this, no."
Dude, Okoye versus Black Widow would be so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fight I didn't know I want to see.
Humanoid. Andre is right here. Cap holding the helicopter with one arm is really cool. Just grabbing the ground with one hand, the helicopter with the other, and just yanking everything down.
Just flexing.
Yeah, just so much good stuff. We then go ahead and see they've got Bucky now, Captain and Falcon do, and they go ahead and we see the Ant-Man post-credit scene
Yeah, we
where
do.
Bucky's arm.
Yeah, it's like, and they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. He's like, well, I might know a guy.
Yeah. Which turns out to not only be Ant-Man, but Clint Barton as well.
The
Nice.
retired Clint Barton.
Yes, the retired Clint Barton and the very sleepy Ant-Man. Ant-Man
Yeah.
doesn't travel well.
Well, don't forget the scene when he gets to go to the compound, though.
Yeah.
He has to go rescue Wanda, because that's before it's sleepy Ant-Man, though, because he has Wanda at that point. And Wanda versus Vision, I was like, oh, because remember, she is from the Mind Stone, so she has the ability to suppress it.
Yeah,
which is great foreshadowing.
Yes, absolutely fantastic foreshadowing. We then get, as the teams are starting to get. Oh, hold on. When that scene happened, a random dude in my theater yells, "I think gay made me gay." Yeah, not necessarily a bad thing. It's probably happened more than once. Chris Evans is one handsome man. By the way, if you're looking for a recommendation, I can't wait for this weekend because Chris Evans. Red One. Yes.
The Rock and Chris Evans. Let's
go. The Rock, Chris Evans, J.K. Simmons. This
jacked
is going to be a banger movie.
Jacked out J.K. Simmons too.
It's funny when Chris Evans is the least jacked of the three of them.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Because there's The Rock, and then like a significant level down, and that's saying something for as jacked as J.K. Simmons is. But he's still a significance level down from The Rock. And you had me at J.K. Simmons. Yes. This is going to be a fantastic movie. I can't wait.
I'm going out Saturday to meet up with some people, and then I think I might go see this after I finish up with them.
Yeah, this is on my weekend plan at some point to go just snag a viewing of this when I get a couple hours. By the way, Bobby, if we're doing reviews for this one, me and Andre want in on this because we're down to see this movie.
Next week, let's go.
Well, normally with those reviews, sometimes we just record them. So, like I said, we'll get in touch with Bobby. We'll talk to Bobby after.
Next Wednesday night, it's going to be not MCU. It's not going to be Marvel talk. It's going to be Red talk.
Red One talk. Anyways, we then get the Iron Man hanging out with Aunt May when Peter Parker comes in with the big flash screen. It says Brooklyn, or it says Queens.
Yeah, Brooklyn's cap.
Brooklyn's cap. Yes, I understand. I made a boo-boo. It's all New York. It all sucks. It's fine.
I agree. Never been, but I agree.
Sucks. But we get this fantastic scene, and it's so great, the interplay right here with Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, so good.
Like, there's nothing special about it. It just feels right. They have this really good interplay where they don't feel like they have chemistry, which makes you understand how much chemistry there is, because it's so awkward, because the characters are supposed to be awkward around each other. Peter Parker, who doesn't think anybody knows who he is outside of being Peter Parker, and being a tech kid trying to look at Tony Stark and being like, oh my God, Tony Stark is here. And also trying to hide the fact from Tony Stark that he's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Or as Tony calls him, Spider-Man.
Spiderling.
Yeah. The whatever.
And just the way he's reacting to the suit is just so much funny. The goggles. And he's just, my senses are so heightened. It's so good.
You might be in the wrong place tonight then, Karazan. I appreciate you stopping by and thank you for leaving a message, but you might be in the wrong place for us tonight, as this is Marvel Talk.
Yeah, Wednesdays are about Marvel here.
Don't forget Tom Holland playing Peter Parker for the first time, and he killed it. You believe in Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland. Like I said, I think Tom Holland is great in this. I think Tom Holland is a fantastic Spider-Man. I'm very excited to see where it continues to go.
Yeah.
This is true. We are always in the exact place we need to be. This is indeed true. I'll give you that one. That's all right. So this leads us all to, let's just get to the whole point of this movie in Marvel's point of view, the splash page fight between Team
Which is
X-Men
pretty
and
goddamn good. It's a
it's
great
fantastic.
fight.
Oh, it is.
But in my opinion, it's the third best fight in this movie.
Yes, but it's the flashy fight that you use to sell the movie. And they did repeatedly use this fight to sell the movie. And by the way, it's good. There's nothing wrong with this fight, in my mind.
No, there's nothing bad. Like let's just go through segments we love. For one, Underoos, as Andrea said, just calls it Underoos who steals the
Underoos!
Just steals the shield. Like Ant-Man getting the truck and saying, throw this, and Cap whips the truck,
Yep.
and he whipped the disc, and
He
it
makes it bigger.
expands, and it lands, and it blows up. He's like, "Oh my god! I thought it was a water truck." So it might be my favorite line in the dude, when Cap's going at it with Falcon and Bucky, and he says, "You have a metal arm." You're right, Andre. That oh my god. And they're like giving him shit for asking questions during the fight.
Yep. But when Spider-Man's fighting Bucky and Falcon, and he just keeps talking, they're like, "Dude, we don't normally talk this much during a fight." He's like, "Oh, sorry, hold on."
But that's why I feel like he is one of the best Spider-Man, because like they took Andrew Garfield and said, "Okay, let's make this quippy," and he is quippy as hell here. Yeah.
Tom Holland reminds me of the animated Spider-Man.
Yeah, very much so.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said earlier, I prefer Andrew Garfield Spider-Man because I think there was so much they could have done with Andrew Garfield Spider that they didn't do. But I love Tom Holland Spider-Man.
But the thing is, Garfield was so quippy when he would make comments, which Toby didn't do as his Spider-Man. His Spider-Man was serious. Where this is exactly what Spider-Man is supposed to be. It's this quippy young kid just fucking with people, and it's perfection.
Yep, Spider-Man is all quips and sarcasm. I agree.
Oh, dude, Ant-Man inside of Iron Man's suit, like ripping shit out,
yep.
And then fire suppression. He's like, "Oh my god!" And he gets blown out of the suit.
And then, how can we not forget Giant Man? First time Ant-Man goes giant, and then
I love Cap's reaction, or not Cap, Iron Man's reaction to it, because he goes boom, and then he's like, "If anybody else has some hidden talents on our side, please
we
do it now. We could really use it now."
And then, of course, the back and forth between Spider-Man, Rhodey, and Iron Man, where he goes, "Hey guys, remember that really old movie, Star Wars?"
Oh.
When they're on the
I wasn't alive when the movie came out. I felt old when he fucking said that. I was like, "You little fuck."
And then I love Rhodey's reaction. He doesn't say anything other. He just goes, "Tony, how old is this kid?" And he goes, "I don't know. He's a bit on the young side. I didn't carbon date him." Like, Tony, you didn't even ID the kid. He told you he had school and he couldn't go to Germany. Like,
So
this is such a good scene. This is one of the, ironically, like you said, it's the third best fight in this movie, and it might be one of Marvel's best fights.
Mm-hmm.
I still go to bat that this is probably in the top 10 of Marvel fights.
Yeah, that's very possible.
And it's still the third best fight in this movie.
Yeah. I'd say writing scene number 2, and then that final fight with the 3.
Yeah,
that's
the three-way final fight is something else. That, by the way, is the best fight in Marvel history, in my opinion, in the cinematic universe.
I put the Endgame War as the best fight in history,
because it's just so grandiose. You can't help but say
Okay.
that's the best
All
fight.
right. I get, because like I said, there's
But
nothing.
that almost is almost disqualified for just
Yeah.
it's it's the biggest and it's the best, right? Because everybody's there.
Yeah, because like I said, when I think of the Endgame fight, there's like I don't often think of very particular special things of that fight. But when I think of the Civil War fight, there's so many.
You get the hammer. You get Cap pulling the hammer for the first time.
Yeah.
You get that epic fight there. You get Thanos destroying the shield.
But again, those are small moments in a fight, but it's not about the fight scenes that make those cool.
Yeah, I know.
And this is where Rhodey gets his legs broken, which implies the scroll. No. So, we're gonna have to go over this again.
This is not Scrody.
Stark is dead. We still have no official answer from Marvel as to when Scrody took over.
I choose to believe Scrody took over when Rhodey was crying after Tony died.
Mm-hmm.
He was crying somewhere, and Scrody comes up and just hits him in the back of the head.
I think so.
By taking advantage of his grief.
The reason people believe like Andreas, and Andreas is a troll, so like he's a friendly troll, but he's a bit of a troll. I mean, we'll be honest with that.
He's a troll.
Yeah, friendly troll, good troll.
He's a troll. He's trollanoid, not humanoid. He's trollanoid. Yeah.
I can't believe you haven't heard us call him Scrody before.
Dude, we were calling. Did you watch any of our reviews of Secret Invasion? Which we both loved.
Nobody did.
That's true. Some of our worst stuff. Some of our worst performing. You're right.
No. We did great during Secret Invasion. Just nobody watched it because nobody gave a shit about Secret Invasion other than us.
I loved it.
But no, I think the thing that throws a lot of people off about this being the place where Rhodey gets taken by the Skrulls is because when we see real Rhodey for the first time at the end of Secret Invasion, he's wearing a medical gown. Oh, we've offended Astrid because she did indeed watch our Secret Invasion stuff.
It's true.
But Astrid watches everything we do because Astrid's the best, which is why she gets the Astrid Hour coming in 2025.
And that's why she is the queen of us all. She is the Nastral, you know?
The Nastral, yes. As we get to the end of the fight scene at the airport, Bucky and Cap make a run for it to try to get to the Quinjet so they can go to Siberia to track down Zemo. And Panther's following them. And Black Widow stops Panther. And she says, I love it. She's like, look, I told you I'd get you there. I didn't tell you I'd let you take them down as they get away.
True. Yeah.
Black Widow. Always the two-sided person, Black Widow. I never just pick one side.
It's in her name. She's a Black Widow, bro. She's always going to turn on you.
I agree. This leads to Tony Stark interviewing the rest of the team at the raft, the rest of Team Cap, I should say, at the raft. By the way, I would love to know what they did at the raft to quell Wanda's powers. I'd be interested.
Something, I'm pretty sure it's something on the equivalent of a power dampening collar or something. It's on that level of something like that.
I just think it's fun that they did it and they just like basically made it like it was no big deal. But this is where we get for the first time, the Futurist is here. The Futurist is here, which is my favorite. The best line that Clint has in this entire movie is when he's just going at Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what's best for you. He knows how you should live. He is the Futurist.
Kind of.
Yeah. Like I said, I figured it was something as simple as that. I just always find it funny when we think about Wanda, when we think about how powerful she really is and how there's really anything we can actually do to tame those powers.
Yeah.
I mean, with 3 words, she basically erased, 97% of the mutants from the world. with 3 words.
No more mutants.
No more mutants.
And then in the Secret Invasion, she's gonna say, "Give us mutants," and mutants will appear.
You mean a Vision Quest?
No, she's gonna say that in the Secret Invasion movie. And that's how
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, and that's how we're gonna get.
Secret Invasion is something completely different, my friend.
Yeah, we already watched that. But yeah, she'll say that in Secret Wars, and that'll make mutants appear in our universe.
Yeah. Again, I still think mutants are going to appear because we're going to. Andreas is catching up because he is on a delay and says, "You mean Secret Wars?" No, I still think it's going to be more of a thing where we get like a battle world where everybody's together, and then we have an incursion that kind of just shoves everything that we've known about onto essentially like one Earth. So we get mutants that have existed and we start seeing them trickle through because we already have 2 in the MCU.
True.
We have Namor, who's technically a mutant. We've heard that from the MCU people themselves. And we have
Kamala Khan. Still one of the best Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
That show was amazing.
Top 3.
Yeah.
But
then again, they're all better than Moon Knight. So
Tony goes to the raft and gets the information to figure out where Steve is. And then we get to the 3rd act. In the 3rd act, I love this 3rd act because it's both cerebral and physical 3rd act. Because you're tying together 2 separate storylines at once in this 3rd act. Yep. And you have the physical fight scene dealing with Tony Stark finding out the truth that Winter Soldier killed his parents.
Well, again, he shows up because he finds out Zemo did it all.
Yep.
And he comes in, he's like, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm on your side. Let's save the." Yeah. They're thinking, their thought is Zemo's going to get the Winter Soldiers and unleash them upon the world.
Yep.
But no.
Tony does exactly what Sam asked him to do. He went there alone and as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
He did both of those things until he found out that Bucky killed his mom. And at that point, Bucky had to die.
Yeah, he's really pissed about his mom, but not his dad.
Well, I mean, him and Howard had a difficult past, and he's not as worried about that. But he loved his mom. He was a mama's boy.
True.
Who as played his mom? Are, to be honest with you.
Who played his mom?
Hope Davis.
Okay, yeah, I recognize her from other stuff.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. I love her. She's great. She does good work. And of course, here's where we get, as Humanoid says, "Ding ding, let them fight." But there's such a great cerebral moment here where they start playing it, and Zemo's in that like little like room that's like bomb protected room that the Russians created. And he's like, "I didn't do all of this to hurt you guys, like to physically hurt you. I did it to emotionally hurt you, to break the bonds that tie you all together." And I'm like, that's such a good motivation that I wish we would have gotten inklings of it throughout the entire movie. Because this is such a smart way to attack superheroes when you don't have superpowers. It's let's break them down to the human beings underneath and rip those human beings' hearts apart.
Yep.
And that's, I think, the genius and the greatness of the Zemo story. And again, I understand why some people don't see it the way I do, where I say that it's one of my favorite things about this movie. But when Marvel had such a villain problem, for the most part, coming up to now, with the exception of Loki, Marvel didn't have great villains. They had great actors playing villains, but with the exception of Loki, they don't have great villains up to this point.
Yeah, and honestly, after this, it's really Thanos, and I'll give Vulture his due. I think he was the only other like truly good, like really good villains, right? Because again, his motivations are rooted in just generality, in that he got screwed by the government, so he's become a bad guy and he's gonna steal shit. Again, it's very similar to Zemo here.
Yeah, but I like that they use, Zemo lost his entire family and he blames the Avengers and he's going to rip the Avengers apart bit by bit. I'm like, it was a well thought out plan that essentially did what he wanted to do. Like, he walks away at the end of this movie. He basically wants to kill himself thinking, I've done what I needed to do. I'm okay dying at this point.
Yep.
And we'll tie off the Zemo stuff now because we're going to talk about the final fight in a minute. But there's this great part where Panther gets there too. And he starts sneaking up behind Zemo, and he realizes that Zemo's the one who's behind all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this great talk where he's like, I'm sorry I hurt your father. I never intended to, to particularly kill your father. I needed to get to them. And the way to get to them was to get to Bucky. And your father was collateral damage to everything I was doing. And T'Challa understands and relates to this man who's feeling this loss and feeling this pain. And that's why he ends up going to prison as opposed to killing him like he was trying to do with Bucky.
I'm just surprised he didn't end up in Wakanda in prison.
I am very surprised that it's a weird thing considering what we see in the second movie, that he doesn't end up in a Wakandan prison. I do agree. That is a bit of a plot hole.
Especially
Black Panther 2.
And Black Panther and the Winter Soldier. Also, the Dora Milaje are trying to come and get him to take him to a Wakandan prison.
Yeah. That is a bit of a plot hole where they decided to retell that story at the end of the day. But again, I think at the end of this, Chadwick did a great job in this. Darren Brule did a great job in this. The villain of the piece was well done and wasn't killed, which is something that Marvel needs to learn from. You don't always need to kill your villains. Leave some of them alive. Let them fall out of power. Let them fall away. And keep some of them. I wish they would have done this in Black Panther, because I think seeing Killmonger pop up again and again would have been something interesting.
I still believe we're going to get Killmonger in Secret Wars.
We're going to get a version of Killmonger in Secret Wars played by Michael B. Jordan.
Wearing the crystals across his chest, because it's going to be Ultimate Killmonger. That's like the one from What If. That'd be pretty dope.
It could be.
Yeah.
Speaking of What If, we'll talk a little bit more about What If when we get done here, because I've got something to show Andre.
Fuck.
We then go to the fight. Cap, Bucky versus Iron Man. 2-on-1 handicap match. 2 super soldiers versus an iron suit. This is fantastic.
I wonder who's gonna win.
I mean, for a long time here, I thought Iron Man was going to do it. He really does hold up pretty damn well against the 2 of them.
The movie is literally Captain America: Civil War. I
just said he was going to.
No. It's Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
Cap isn't losing in his own goddamn movie.
He might. Anyways. This is just such a great at one point Iron Man looks at Steve Rogers and like, did you know? And he's like, look, Tony, I didn't want to say, did you know? Yes, of course I knew. I don't think he knew. I think he knew bits and pieces. I think from S.H.I.E.L.D.
He knew. Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
The computer boy tells him. It shows him.
Oh, does it show him that?
Because it's showing the victims of the Winter Soldier, and it shows Howard Stark.
Oh, I didn't notice that in there. I'll have to go back and watch Winter Soldier again.
Yeah, it shows that Howard Stark is one of the people killed by the Winter Soldier. So Cap may not know the exact events of what happened, but he knows that Winter Soldier killed Howard Stark.
Since we get Chris Evans, Johnny Storm, I want to see Michael B. Jordan's Johnny from
No,
Fantastic Four.
that movie, that was a fever dream. That movie never actually existed, man. You don't know what you're talking about. No, that's just a collective fever dream the world had. That movie doesn't actually exist.
Bucky tries to escape the missile silo, but Iron Man, even without one of his repulsors on his feet, still tries to catch up to him. Still ends up being able to shoot out what the hinge that holds the thing down, so it comes falling down and it keeps the three of them in there. And then they just go to town. They have this little room. It's almost like a Daredevil, hallway fight. And they just go to town, 2-on-1. And
oh my god,
so good.
The trading, the shield going back and forth between Cap and Bucky, and just watching Bucky wield the shield was just like, oh my god, dude, I am so happy here.
Yeah, there was so much good stuff here. And at one point,
and this is the parallel for what Falcon and Winter Soldier when they're fighting John Walker too. It's kind of that's almost like a retread of this fight.
Yeah.
Mm.
We then get to hear a wonderful exchange between Cap and Iron Man, where he's like, Tony, I've got it. He's my friend. He's like, so was I at one point.
Oh my god, that's like dagger.
That's the dagger in the heart of this whole movie. That's that line. It's just like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man ends up shooting off with the repulsor, the chest repulsor, shoots off Bucky's metal arm. And then Cap finally gets the upper hand and starts beating Iron Man down. And the shield, and yes, like the John Walker where he does it in episode 4, where he decapitates the poor dude. It looks like he's going to do something similar, and then he just hits the repulsor, right, the arc reactor right in the chest.
And then he's going to leave with the shield, and Tony tells him leave it behind because his dad made it. Yeah.
My dad made that. You don't deserve that. And you just hear the clang, 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 clang of the vibranium shield.
Which leads us to the Nomad.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
Which I would have loved to have seen a little more of the Nomad, I'll be honest with you. I would have liked to see a little more Nomad.
Me too.
We then go ahead and get the movie wraps up, things happen. We hear Captain America narrating a letter that he sent to Tony Stark with a phone. The phone will appear again in Infinity War. And Cap's basically just saying, like, look, I understand what's going on, and if you ever need me, you can call me. I'll be there. Because I understand you and I don't see this eye to eye, but at the end of the day, I'm still your friend, and I still want to help you if the world's at the end.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
Can we talk about the post credit or the
of course?
So prior to the credits is one of my favorite Stan Lee scenes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stank. Is Tony? Is there a Tony Stank? Say, and Rhodey's like, yes, this is Tony Stank, and he's like, that's good. He's
Table for
like,
two.
Yeah, Tony Stank, and it's just the friend like. It's what you and me do ripping on each other. It's what me and all my friends do ripping on each other. And I just love the friendship right here in the two of them just ripping on each other. And I love it.
It's not even the two of them ripping on each other. It's literally just Rhodey for a minute and a half making stink jokes at Tony Stark's behalf. Table for two, Mr. Stank, by the bathroom.
By the bathroom?
By the bathroom. So good.
Oh my god!
And then we get post-credit scene with Spider-Man, where we
no, they're still mid credits because it shows Bucky in Wakanda getting be put to sleep to cure the brainwashing and stuff, and then we get to Peter in the post credits.
Yeah, I do love Captain America being like, they might come for us. And Black Panther's like, let them come.
They'll never get here.
Let them come for me. It's fine. And then yeah, like I said, we got the post-credit scene with Spider-Man, which sets up Homecoming, where he had told Aunt May that he got into a fight with a guy named Steve
From Brooklyn.
I mean, technically it's true. He did not
there-
lie to
There was no lying in there. He just didn't fully explain, but it wasn't a lie.
he got beat up by a guy named Steve from Brooklyn.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's
it
true.
happened in Germany, and he probably neglected that piece of information. But
He didn't technically lie to her.
and then we get the Spider-Man logo on the roof, which will in turn be the Spider-Man Homecoming logo, part of it at least. And that is Civil War.
Yep.
Andre, where does it go on the list?
Oh fuck! I don't have a list right now. We haven't been keeping track of We haven't really been keeping track of any of that. We haven't kept track of that in so many movies. Jesus.
I'll be honest. Just give a vague answer. Top 5, top 10, top 15.
I have an overall list. I'm looking. Oh, dude, my list from that I put together like a year ago when we kind of started all this, and then I was doing this as we go. I have it number 4, but this is also as of only maybe as a couple of years ago. I don't know.
But there's nothing that would have taken the place of that at this point, and anything that really come up that would have taken that place.
I'm sorry, that's not my list. There's my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's in 10th place. Sorry, on my actual list is 10th place. That was just the order that was eliminating movies from. Yeah, I've been in 10th place because like Winter Soldier, I think,
is a better movie.
Is the best. It's to me is right now as of the last list I built. It's the best movie of them all. Then you got No Way Home, Infinity War, Endgame, Black Panther, Avengers, Iron Man, Guardians. Like they're all like that's all top 10 movies.
It's 5. I agree. It's 5 through 10. It's not the top of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's not far off. It's in that like A range. Everything 5 and above is all A plus, perfect movie.
Those are S tier, baby. If you're going gaming, it's S tier, baby. Right. Yeah.
But no, this is, if we're tier listing it, this is an A tier movie. This is that 5, that says that 6 through 10. It's really good. There's not much I would change. I don't think there's much that could make it better. But at the same time, it's not the source material, which I think hurts it a little bit in my eyes because I had seen the source material before. Astrid says something that I think you and I haven't noticed yet. And you guys are wearing red and blue.
Oh, fuck.
I'm on the Iron Man side. You're on the Cap side.
I guess I'm the rebel. But mine says ADHD, highway to look a squirrel.
All right, Andre. It's your favorite time.
Oh, no.
Shows. Box office time.
You're the worst. You're the worst.
2016. What did this movie gross domestically, worldwide, whichever you take a pick? I have both of the numbers.
I'm gonna go worldwide. I'm gonna say like 1.2 billion.
Just a skosh over 1.153.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking close.
1.153. Well, you would have lost on Price is Right because you were over. So.
I know, but if the other person was over, I'd be okay. What was the
lost and nobody would have won?
What would have been what was the domestic?
$408 million.
That seems a little low, but all right.
$745 million around the world. That was not U.S. and Canada.
408 seems a little low to me. For domestic.
By May 10th of 2016. So to put it in perspective, this movie comes out. Hold on. Up to the top. This movie came out in Dolby. It came out on April 12th, and it released officially in the United States on May 6th. By May 10th, this movie by May 10th, 2016, the film had grossed $737.8 million, surpassing the entire theatrical gross of Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a big one. It moved tickets when it opened in April.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was indeed one hell of a movie. However, Andre, that's not your hardest question of the night.
No.
Rotten Tomatoes, 434 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics.
Oh, fuck the critics.
What did the critics say about Civil War?
78.
90.
Really?
The critics gave it a 90. Thank you, Andreas, for joining us. We'll have to have you on again at some point in the near future for one of these shows.
Okay,
What do you
because critics are usually dicks, so I figured it'd be lower.
90%, not bad. They really liked it. Do you think the critics liked it more or less than the fans? What did the fans give it?
I'm gonna give I think the fans might have liked it a little less. I'm gonna go 86.
Almost. Flip that 6 upside down, buddy.
Who's Bobby?
I said, buddy.
Oh, it is the Bobby. I'm like, who's Bobby?
Bobby's not here. I said, flip that 6 upside down, buddy. To 9.
Oh, yeah.
89.
All right.
Critics officially liked the Marvel movie more than the fans, which I believe might be the first time.
The fans are assholes, too.
100,000 plus reviews, though. And that is indeed the end of our coverage of Civil War, but not the end of our show, Andre, because I got a special treat for you.
I want to go to bed.
You can go to bed in just a moment. On December 22nd, Andre and I will start an 8-day journey with season 3 of What If, which features this really cool trailer.
Let's begin. Up for an adventure?
Always.
To understand, you must learn to see.
What exactly are you proposing?
It's showtime.
Here we go!
Howard, are you sure you can fly this?
Are you kidding? I'm a duck. I was born to fly. Strap in.
Oh, move over.
If we all go down, the world will be left defenseless.
This is the shot we have. We may not get another one. Let's finish it.
Oh, we're good to go.
Avenger, assemble.
Line them up now.
This is where your story ends. With some mysteries, the only answer is what if?
Maybe it's time that we called in some help.
I am Storm, voice of thunder.
Yes, that was Storm wielding Mjolnir.
Wow.
To end the trailer, we also have a Megazord.
That I was like, come fucking on.
I'm so excited for that episode. I'm so excited for the Megazord.
I'm not poo-pooing this, but I need that to be sold to me in the right way. Because I am very much if you don't do your Megazord the right way, I'm sorry, you're just a shitty Power Ranger team.
They're absolutely going to be a Power Ranger team.
I'm very much a Power Ranger homer. I'm also a Voltron homer. So the two greatest versions of Megazords in all of history come from them. Yeah, so that one's gonna be rough. What the hell were the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm. Who or just what's the story? I don't know what the story is.
Who?
Oh, Peggy and Simu Liao, Shang-Chi.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think so. I've yet to watch a breakdown on this. I just love it. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of fun that's going to be in this.
Okay.
And remember, it is going to be the third and final season of What If. 8 episodes to end it all.
I'm just looking through some of the cast. You get Fishy Lawrence Fishburne coming back as Goliath.
Yeah.
Moon Knight, Mark Spector or Isaac going to play Moon Knight. Simu Liu as Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
You got an Agatha Harkness back. Okay.
Like I said, if you search too deep down that rabbit hole, you might ruin a bit for yourself there. But lots of good stuff coming from What If. Lots of good stuff coming from Marvel Talk. In 2 weeks on Wednesday night, me and Andre will be back again for Black Widow.
Yes, we're breaking the order.
I'm also I've reached out to Astrid. I'm going to be potentially getting us a special guest for that episode because I feel like if we're going to be talking about Black Widow, the first MCU, well, not the first MCU movie, but the first MCU movie that we're talking about, led by a female cast, we should probably have a female voice in the panel. So I'm looking to see if I can find somebody who might be interested.
Is it going to be the Black Widow of our own, the Queen, Astrid Pizarro?
No. It will not.
Oh, okay.
On December 11th, we will be back again with Doctor Strange. That will finish out our MCU Rebound for the year. We are back again with daily episodes starting the 22nd for What If Season 3. It will either be me, Andre, or me and Andre. They will potentially be recorded episodes and not live. It will, like I said, that's going to be hit or miss. We'll play it by ear. Asher says, I am the booker, sir. I do not take the bookings.
So book me for the Full Gear post show.
Speaking of things that we can look forward to, Christmas Day. Our local establishment has a fun Christmas gift for you. A pre-recorded episode of Marvel Talk. That's not quite an MCU Rebound, where me and Andre are going to be doing Once Upon a Deadpool. We are both very excited for this episode.
Oh, God, I've watched this movie already, and I'm like, oh, this is so weird. I'm sorry. The wood chipper scene is so weird.
Yeah?
Oh, my God.
This whole movie is going to be weird because you're telling an R-rated movie in a PG-13 context.
Oh, my God, but I love it, dude. Ryan Reynolds and Fred Savage play off each other so well. This is where you get the infamous Nickelback, the Ryan Reynolds
defending Nickelback, yeah,
defending Nickelback, and just oh my God, it's so. I went into it going, okay, how this is actually going to work,
and I watched it, and I'm like, oh, because I had never seen Once Upon a Deadpool before. I just watched it recently, and I'm like, this is amazing.
It
Oh,
is
so
indeed
good.
going to be a good time. It'll be our Christmas gift to you. Andre, where can the good people find you?
Oh, geez, you can find me right here on OLE this Friday. I'll be talking the Japanese wrestling update with my girl Melball, and we'll be just chatting about all the week that was in professional wrestling, kind of giving you a bit of Fight Spirit Unleashed talk from last Friday. We're going to talk the Taiji Ishimori superhero insane show. We're going to talk some pro wrestling Noah news came out this week. Some big stuff coming from over there. We had some Stardom talk to chat about over here. So lots of great stuff coming out. Some news out of Marvel, and we're gonna have a little breakdown on the Wrestling Observer newsletter's ballot, and we're just focusing on the Japanese candidates this year. There's a couple American candidates I do want to talk about that do have very big ties to Japan. But yeah, it's all about the Japanese for us on that.
Huh.
And then, yeah.
Wrestling Observer, American wrestlers who have ties to Japan. I wonder if his name rhymes with Schmel Osprey.
Oh, that's not even who I was thinking of. It's somebody from your neck of the woods is who I was thinking. Yeah. Do you have a guess?
I mean, the only one I can think of is Stephanie Becaire. Oh, no. Sasha?
No.
Mercedes? Who?
No. Your neck of the woods. She's currently an active, or I guess an injured person from the main roster.
Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair.
No, she's not Japanese. She has nothing to do with Japan.
Asuka. I don't know.
Yes, Asuka.
I haven't. It's the Wrestling Observer. That man has me blocked. I don't know anything that goes on with it.
Yeah, Asuka. Because again, she has such. Yeah, Asuka. That's who there's a couple others, but yeah, Asuka was the one I was really debating about, want to talk about. So yeah.
Remember, you can always see all of their stuff on A Plus Productions in audio form on Facebook and at aplusproductions.com. You can always see all of their stuff simulcasted with the wonderful Mike the Ref, who is a great friend of the channel. You can go ahead and check out that. Remember that Mike the Ref will be coordinating and hosting our What the Fuck Do We Know About Pro Wrestling Christmas quiz coming up in December on a Thursday night. I believe it's Thursday night the 18th, but I can't be sure, so we're going to leave it at that. Of course, you can find me every Tuesday night with the wonderful, the queen of our local establishment, Hollywood Astrid herself, the natural Astra Bizarro, as we talk all things NXT, as we're on the road to deadline. And apparently, I am going to hopefully be live for the NXT post-deadline, as NXT announced this afternoon that they're coming to do a live NXT show from Lowell, Massachusetts. So I'm going to go ahead and shell out money to actually go see good pro wrestling as opposed to seeing cast-offs from this Japanese wrestling of newish Japan. I chose not to go to the New Japan show, and I'm going to indeed spend more money.
Fuck you, Ed.
It'll be a Christmas gift to myself to go watch NXT. And again, like I said, you can follow me. You can follow me in Bobby's March to the Top of the Point of View football rankings every week. We're hoping for some good luck tomorrow night to kind of balance this week off, because we've been trying to take some chances to kind of make Mark do some stuff, and Mark's not taking any chances. And
the man dare, dude, he jumped on with me a couple of times to not go against you. So, nah.
Mark's terrible. Mark's terrible.
Man dares.
But we will see you in 2 weeks. We will see you in 2 weeks for Marvel Talk. Make sure you catch all the wonderful shows on our local establishment. Before I head us out, we're going to go ahead and play the calendar, and then we'll play the outro. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Please note. your love.